Hello, Kemi welcome back. I wanted to talk about Blazing because, as you guys already know, they came out with two brand new Blazing Bash units that I went in depth about. I broke them down, and I wanted to kind of just talk about the current state of Blazing because a lot of people seem disinterested in the game at the current moment, and the current climate for the game is kind of bad. Okay, it's pretty bad. It's to the point where people don't even bother to sign into the game to get their daily pearl. Okay. Now, the big problem that I have with Blazing is that it seems like the development team behind the game is more worried about coming out with a brand new Blazing Bash unit rather than coming out with quality of life updates. They don't really seem to care too much about the feedback that the people are giving them at the current moment. As you guys remember, it took them a very long time for them to add a higher difficulty mission for the scrolls and the ramen, and that was all well and good, but right now we got bigger problems. Let me just start out with the very first one, PvP. There's a lot of issues that could easily be fixed on PvP that they haven't even decided to address. Okay, for one, they don't really come out with any kind of I would like to say nerfs or buffs for certain units. I feel like that's the first thing they should worry about, specifically when, if you guys remember, when they had the beta version of PvP on Blazing, they actually had an update where some units kind of got buffed, some units got nerfed pretty badly, and I wish they would do that between every season. Just really take your time and worry about, okay, what's broken on PvP? What do we need to fix on PvP that'll help us get more players interested in the game mode? They're not really worried about that. Instead, we're getting Blazing Bash units at such an incredible rate that it's almost bothersome to really pull for them. Now, let me just give you guys an idea here, okay? Blazing Bash is essentially them rehashing the beginning stage of Blazing when it first came out. If you guys remember, in the beginning stage of Blazing when it first came out, we had the 6-star Sasuke, the 6-star Naruto, so on and so forth. Then we had Sabusa, then we had Haku on an emergency mission. And essentially what they're doing with Blazing Bash is kind of rehashing those characters, because they know that they can essentially go back to the very beginning of Naruto, release them as Blazing Bash units, and people will still pull for them because they're going to be brand new units. They're going to be sold to you as brand new units. And the Blazing Bash being hybrids, where you can use them for impact raids or PvP, it does good. It does really good. Now, the other thing is that they're following a formula that I really don't like. All right, the Blazing Bash, where at first, the Blazing Awakening in general, a lot of people assumed that it would be something that you could give to your older units, right? So the first 6-star Heart Naruto or the first 6-star Sasuke as a skill unit, a lot of people assumed that they would be the ones getting this Blazing Awakening, but that wasn't the case. They just came out with different units altogether because I bet it was just easier for them to do so and more profitable, right? Because you guys gotta think about this. Bandai Namco is the publisher of this game. They're a huge company. They're continuously coming out with games. They gotta make their money back, or they're gonna make a big profit at the very least. They're gonna have to make a big profit because they have to continuously be making money in order to continue to support the game. And you know what? I'm not really too against that. I'm not against them wanting to make money. Obviously, every company needs to make money. They need to cover their bottom line. I just feel like the bottom line is the only thing they're looking at right now. They're not really too worried about what the people want. Now, the formula for Blazing has been pretty stale so far. A brand new emergency mission comes out. You pretty much beat it within 20 minutes. A new impact raid comes out. They have been getting a little more creative with the impact missions. I'm not gonna lie, they have been a little more creative. Like for example, the one with the second Mizukage, I believe. Yeah, the second Mizukage. It's pretty hard for you to beat that without you having some certain strategy or a certain unit. I mean, some of you guys might kind of be iffy about that because it almost feels like you gotta pull for a certain unit just to beat an impact raid that's brand new and a little too difficult. The Kaguya SS rank, that was pretty nice too. I like the idea behind it. It allows you to get better rewards for a more challenging experience. I do like that, and it was almost like a, hey guys, the veteran players, here you go. You have something that you can actually find difficult that you can't beat by just having Madara or such bats Naruto. Now, here's where I have the biggest issue though. It seems like every time they release a unit, it's not even like 2 days after that I'm like, okay, what's next? You get what I'm saying? The moment you have an emergency mission, you beat it right away. The moment you have an impact raid, you beat it right away. And if you really want that unit, and then here's the thing, the impact raid units, they're not really great. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really know how to really work these free-to-play units, by the way. I feel like they really have a bad time figuring out what's the best element that they could put a certain unit on. For example, like the new impact raid Tsunade that just came out. She could have easily been a wisdom type. Very easily she could have been a wisdom type, right? Because she would have been a wisdom type that could heal. That would have been really awesome. That would have been a really good unit, a very solid unit. But they made her Bravery. And as you guys know, Bravery already has a lot of healers. Bravery has a lot of passive healers. But Wisdom doesn't. And they're not really worried about that. And that's the bothersome part about it all. Now, with Blazing Bash, I feel that they need to kind of cut down the frequency in which they release these banners. I feel like it's a little too much at the current moment. They're coming out with 2 brand new Blazing Bash units, like what, every 3 weeks, every month. I feel like that's too much in my opinion. I feel that the meta should not change that easily when it comes to PvP. The meta on PvP right now changes at the drop of a hat, right? You guys saw it when Gaara came out, and you guys saw it when Hinata came out. The moment Hinata came out, the meta changed drastically, because if you didn't have Hinata, you were going to have a hard time on PvP. Okay, that's just how it works. She's too fast. She does a lot of damage. She seals. You know, she has a lot going for her. And she tanks. She has a lot going for her. And with this Blazing Bash, Sabusa, and Haku, they're pretty good units. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're bad. In fact, what I'm trying to say is that they're too good. You know, like Blazing Bash and Yuna are too good. There shouldn't be this incredible advantage over somebody that doesn't have them. You know, somebody that doesn't have a Blazing Bash unit suffers from pretty much not being able to play PvP at all, because chances are you're gonna lose, right? I mean, you just look at Rock Lee. Rock Lee gives you a chakra with 1 jutsu, and essentially gets his chakra back. If he's lucky, if he has the dupe abilities, he won't use any chakra at all if he does his jutsu. You know, you have OT Naruto, who pretty much kills any body unit that's at the 30,000 health mark. You know, CM2 Sasuke doesn't do much damage, but he seals chakra, which can be a pain. He's still very much useful for when you want to throw somebody into a chakra pit so they lose their chakra. All of these characters have a really nice position on a team on PvP, and it's so much to the point where if you didn't have a full-on Blazing Bash team on PvP, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. I feel that Blazing Bash units should be a special thing. It should be like a every 2 months kind of thing, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. I feel like at the rate they're coming out with the units, it's just too much. And that's what's getting people so burnt out on it. It's just they're following the same formula. They're not really worried about making the game better for the players. They're not worried about having the game be stable up until the 3rd year anniversary, the 4th year anniversary. A lot of people would try to quote Dokkan, right? You guys are saying, oh, you know, Dokkan does the same thing, where all they do right now is come out with brand new LRs, and people are pretty much happy with that. But the thing is, Dokkan has a very rabid fan base. They have a super huge audience. Blazing doesn't have that same treatment. Blazing has an audience, don't get me wrong. It's just not as big. It's nowhere near as big as Dokkan. So when you see Dokkan, when you see Dokkan declining a little bit, it doesn't really, you don't really see the decline that big, right? But when you see Blazing having a decline, you do notice it, because it's such a huge impact. I mean, I have people telling me right now on my comment section, if you guys check on the breakdown videos for Sabusa and Haku, they're telling me that the game is dying. They're telling me that they're not interested in the game. They're not even interested in logging in. And that's the biggest problem right now. I don't want this game to die. I want it to succeed. I want it to be able to go on and be just as hype as Dokkan. Probably won't ever have a big audience like Dokkan, but it could definitely have a dedicated fan base that's big enough to support the game throughout, you know, the 4th year anniversary. Right now we're at 2 year, or going to the 3rd year. I'm pretty sure this game can really live a long time if they take care of it how they should. You know, I feel like the best place they could do this at is the subreddit, Twitter, even Facebook, you know, or reach out to some YouTubers that are knowledgeable about this. I wouldn't really put myself in that category, but, you know, like people like Mystic really know their shit when it comes to the game. I feel like YouTubers like him should get a spotlight to talk to somebody at Bandai and GREE, the developers of the game, to talk about what they need to fix, talk about ideas that could make the game better. You know, let's talk about new game modes. Let's talk about new characters that, or shit. Let's talk about actually bringing back the old characters and giving them new awakenings like it should have been from the get-go. Blazing Awakening should have been that. I feel that that's what they should do. But you know what? I'm not gonna like sit here and repeat myself over and over again. Anyways, I wanted to make this video just to let them know, just to let you guys know too, that I've noticed a decline, alright? And I know what's wrong with the game. I don't necessarily know how they could fix it 100%, but I'm pretty sure that if they were really willing to fix the issues, they would do something about it. Let me know what you guys think of Blazing's current climate, I would say. Right now, a lot of people are so disinterested in the game, and it kind of just makes me sad because I really do like Blazing. I wanted to succeed, I wanted to do good, but the developers and the publishers also have to want that. Anyways, guys, I'm out. Peace.